Digambara, Digambara, Sripada Vallabha Digambara. Om Sai Ram. Boons given to the Audambra tree, the glory of the incarnation of Sri Narasimha Saraswati. Sri Swami said, "My dear, Sri Mahavishnu appeared as Narasimha Swami and came out of a wooden pillar made out of the Audambra tree and saved Prahalad. Prahalad became the king. That wooden pillar, which broke into two pieces, began to sprout after some time. There, an Audambra tree took shape. Prahalad, who was astonished, started worshipping it. One day, Sri Dattatreya appeared in a meditative pose and taught knowledge to Prahalad. Sri Datta, who discerned Prahalad's interest for Dvaita, blessed that Prahalad would take the form of an ascetic in Kali Yuga and uplift the downtrodden and propagate the ideology of dualism. The Audambra tree took a human form and fell on the feet of Sri Dattatreya and sought a boon. Then Sri Dattatreya promised that he would reside at the base of each Audambra tree in a subtle form, and since he emerged from it in the shape of Narasimha, he would incarnate again in Kali Yuga under the name of Narasimha Saraswati. All this was narrated in Pimgya Brahmana. The Pimgya Brahmana is now available only near the Shambhala village located in the Himalayas, the land of penance of the seven seers. The knowledge of Pimgya Brahmana was lost in other regions. When a question arose whether he was there, Narasimha Swami sprang from the lifeless pillar in an angry form to demonstrate that he was very much there. In the same way, in Kali Yuga, when people with impure minds raise perverted arguments as to whether God is there, the Almighty incarnates under the name of Narasimha Saraswati, not only to prove his existence but also to protect devotees, as was done in the case of Prahalad. Then I asked Sri Swami, "Sir, have you seen Sripada in Pithikapuram?" My mind is getting excited to hear his childhood sportive plays. The great miracle of Sripada. Sri Swami started telling, "I used to stammer since my childhood. People used to ridicule me. In addition, a strange disease attacked me. From my 5th year, the disease grew intensely. With the lapse of 1 year, I used to appear as if 10 years of age had lapsed. When I was 10 years old, I had the qualities of an old man of 50 years." In Sri Pithikapuram, a ritual was conducted under the supervision of Sri Bappanarya. Brahmins were given generous gifts. Monetary gifts were given liberally to the scholars. Since he heard the great sportive plays of Sripada from many people, my father took me to that ritual. The age of Sripada would not exceed 6 years. Then a ghee became necessary for the ritual to be procured. All that ghee was kept in the custody of an old Brahmin. This person was not only a miser but also greedy. He hid 1/4 of the ghee secretly in his house and sent only the remaining 3/4 for the ritual. The ritual started. The priests conducting the ritual thought that the ghee would not be sufficient. It was difficult to procure ghee immediately. Such obstacle caused to the ritual was a matter of concern to all. Sri Bappanarya looked at Sripada with a tranquil face. Then Sripada remarked, "Some thieves are thinking to conquer my kingdom and steal my money. A great darbar is going to be established in Pithikapuram in my name. I will allow those thieves to come inside. When they come out with the stolen money, I will stand near the door secretly and will hit them with a big stick. With that, some people will die on the spot. Some others will run away, leaving the money. I will order Shanishwara to live in the houses of those thieves along with Jeshtha Devi." The words of Sripada were not understood by anyone. They thought that he was telling about some future happenings. In the meanwhile, Sripada called the old Brahmin and made him write on a palm leaf in the following manner: Mother Ganga, give the ghee required for conducting the ritual. Our grandfather Sripinda Venkatappaya Sreshti will settle the debt. This is the command of Sripada Srivallabha. This letter was shown to Sripinda Venkatappaya Sreshti. He agreed. 4 people along with the old Brahmin went to Padgaya Tirtha taking that letter. They submitted the letter into the pond. They collected water from it in the receptacles which they took with them. The water was brought to that place of ritual amidst the chanting of Vedic mantras. The water changed into ghee in the plain sight of all people present there. The ritual concluded successfully. As promised before, Shreshti filled in the same vessels the full measure of ghee as was promised and poured it into Padgaya Tirtha. The ghee changed into water while being poured. My father submitted my miserable state to Sripada. Sripada said, "Wait for some time. I will cure the disease of your boy. I will also remove his stammering. A house has to be burnt. An auspicious time has to be fixed for it. His ways are unpredictable." In the meanwhile, the old Brahmin came there. He was scared whether any harm would be done to him for stealing the ghee. He was unsure whether it would be better to confess Sripada about stealing the ghee. He arrived there with a firm decision that, regardless of what might happen, it would be only good to have the darshan of Sripada. An interesting discussion took place between both of them. Sripada said, "Dear old man, you are an expert in identifying the auspicious times. A house has to be burnt down. Identify a correct auspicious time for it." The old man replied that auspicious times are selected for the construction of houses and for foundation laying ceremonies, but not for burning down houses. Sripada questioned, "How can there be no auspicious time for stealing and for arson?" The old Brahmin said, "I did not hear of such auspicious time. I do not know whether such events take place during inauspicious times and unlucky hours." Sripada said, "Then, is there any unlucky time currently happening now?" The old Brahmin replied, "Such an evil time is passing by now." Sripada explained, "Old man, what good news you have told. A rogue stole ghee procured from the sacred ritual. The hunger of the fire god is not yet satisfied. He is currently burning the ghee that justly belongs to him and also the house along with it. In this way, he is satiating his hunger. He is dancing with joy now." The face of the old Brahmin turned pale on hearing the words of Sripada. His house was reduced to ashes in a short time. Sripada ordered the old Brahmin to bring some ash from the burnt house. That old Brahmin realized that Sripada was capable of granting boons with grace and also to cause losses with his wrath. So he obediently brought the ash. Sripada mixed the ash in a glass of water and commanded me to drink it. He wanted me to do like that for 3 days. We were guests in the house of Shivapanarya. The strange disease in my body, along with my stammering, was removed. I became healthy. Sripada placed his divine benevolent hand on my head and transferred power into me and made me gratified. Then Sripada said, "From today, you will become famous with the name of Dattananda. May you become a householder and be redeemed by preaching righteous conduct to people. In the past lives, you and this old Brahmin were doing business jointly. Enmity developed in business and each of you tried to murder the other. One day you visited the house of the old Brahmin and made him drink payasam pretending love. Not knowing that you have mixed poison in the payasam, the old Brahmin drank it and died. At the same time, the old Brahmin employed some workman without your knowledge and set your house on fire. Your house was burned to ashes. Your wife died in the burning house. On returning to your house, you died of a heart attack after seeing that everything was lost. As you poisoned someone in the past, you are subjected to a strange disease in this birth. As this old Brahmin got your house burnt in the previous birth, his house was burnt down in this birth. I released both of you from your bonds of karma through these playful acts. With the grace of Sripada, I returned home. I became erudite in Vedas and Shastras. Sri Narasimha Varma constructed a new house for the old Brahmin. As the bonds of karma, both of us were cut off with the intervention of Sripada. It only brought goodness to both of us. His leelas are divine. A new house was acquired by the old Brahmin. My disease vanished. My stammering was also rectified, and I became a scholar. The Daksha Yagna performed in the absence of Shiva turned into a battlefield. It is better to note the subtle ties of dharma. My dear Shankar Bhatt, all devas are born out of brilliant illumination. Aditi has an infinite form. Devas are her children. They are responsible for the progress and development of mankind. Devas give aura to men. They shower wealth of divine consciousness on the souls of men. They sustain truth. They are the builders of the divine world. They conquer those evil forces which cause obstacles to complete liberation and inexpressible bliss of the mankind. After seeing devas and after observing their various activities, sages described the devas with different names. The words used in the Vedas have a special meaning. In popular usage, Aswa means a horse. However, for Vedic sages, Aswa is the symbol for life consciousness, which empowers the mental consciousness and respiratory power. This is a secret of the Kriya Yoga. Groups of words are also living entities like herbs and cattle. They are not a creation of the intellect of man. They are full of life and originate from the mother. They originate from the seed sounds. They are highly developed living sounds. They are the numerous progeny of the grammatical roots. Their development is inexhaustible and they divide into different groups and multiply as different classes, races, lineages, and families. In the array of words, each one has got a unique structure and arousing history. Why Brahmins are called Bhusuras, which means gods on earth. According to the Vedic seers, language was not created by air, fire, or Indra. The mind originated from the tendencies of the life organs. The intellect of the mind was formed on the basis of the cooperation and repulsion of the sensory organs. In this evolutionary method only, the experiment of language and teaching evolved following the living organs and consciousness. My boy, all devas are the embodiments of mantras. All this world is under the control of the devas. Such devas are under the control of mantras. Those mantras are under the control of pious Brahmins. Therefore, Brahmins are the gods on earth. In the beginning, when sounds just originated, they were used by men only to convey very limited and elementary ideas which could be grasped by the five organs such as light, movement, touch, cold and heat, expanse, use of force, speed, etc. However, as his intellect expanded, the variety and certainty gradually increased in the language. It means that from ambiguity to keen certainty, from material items to mental items, from known items to unknown items, language developed and progressed. Reading of sacred books is very beneficial. You have selected for writing the sacred biography of Sripada. Even though you will write it in Sanskrit, after some time it will be translated into Telugu, the mother tongue of Sripada. The result from a devoted reading of the book will be the same regardless of the language it is studied in. Whoever is reading it at any place, Sripada will remain there in a subtle form and will hear it. I will tell a story as an example. Listen to it carefully. Sripada attained 7 years of age. The sacred thread ceremony was performed to him strictly according to the Vedic ritualistic procedure. In those days, when such events took place in the houses of wealthy householders, a lot of excitement and flurry used to be there. There was no limit to the happiness of Sri Bapanarya on that occasion. However, there was no opportunity to a pariah mendicant called Dattadas to witness the great celebration. Since he was an outcast, he did not get that chance to witness the celebration. He called all his caste people to his house and said that he would narrate the Datta Charitra. All of them reached his house with great eagerness. Datta Das began to narrate the Datta Charitra like this. That supreme light that was born as the son of Mother Anusaya and sage Atri in the old ages has incarnated today in this Kali Yuga in our Pithikapuram as Sripada Srivallabha. The sacred thread ceremony of the great Lord was performed today. After the sacred thread ceremony, our Lord is now radiating with divine, brilliant splendor. May good fortune and prosperous auspiciousness be forever to the Lord who is the uplifter of destitute people. Datta Das did not have any scholarship to tell more than that about Sri Guru. He was repeating the same story again and again. The listeners were also hearing it with rapt attention. This went on for 53 times. The ambrosial looks of Sripada fell on Datta Das. After the conclusion of the sacred thread ceremony, Sripada announced to the Brahmins that he had to go at once to the house of the pariah mendicant. Sri Bapanarya asked him the reason. Sripada said, Datta Das, who has a pure mind, is narrating my history. If what he told each time is regarded as one chapter, it must be concluded that 53 chapters are completed. I must immediately give him the result that is to be granted to those people who complete 53 chapters with devotion and diligence. There are no distinctions of race and caste to the affection of Sripada towards his devotees. The Brahmins did not grant permission to Sripada to visit Datta Das. Then Sripada became furious and said with rage, those people who are being cruelly suppressed by you as outcasts and pariahs will have my grace abundantly in the ensuing century. They will occupy extolled positions in the future century. In the coming century, a majority of the Brahmins will follow servitude and be degraded and debased from dharma and karma. My words are like edicts on stone. There is no possibility to alter even one letter in them. Nevertheless, if any one of the Brahmins live virtuously and have devotion of Datta, I will protect them just as an eyelid protects the eye. Sripada's parents tried to pacify Sripada. After some time, Sripada became quiet and kept silent. Exactly at the same time, Sripada appeared in the house of Datta Das in his divine, resplendent form. He accepted the sweet foods offered by them with love. He drank with immense love the milk given to him. He distributed the sweet mithai to them with his own divine hands. Sripada blessed everyone in the house of Datta Das. My boy Shankara Bhatt, have you seen the divine love of Sripada? He is satisfied only with your inner feelings. He is not concerned with the family background, lineage, or other material matters. Even if a low caste person gives Datta Prasad, it has to be received with devotion. If disrespect is shown, people will be subjected to hardship and losses. The 12 statements of assurance declared to devotees by Sripada. Hear carefully the sayings of Sripada in the house of Datta Das. First, I will remain in a subtle form in every place where my biography is devotedly read. Second assurance, just like an eyelid protects the eye, I will protect the person who is dedicated to me through mind, word and deed. Third assurance, daily in the afternoon I will seek alms in Sri Pitikapuram. My arrival is a divine secret. Fourth assurance, I will reduce all the karmas into heaps of ashes of those who constantly meditates upon me. Even if the karmas are accumulated from many births, I will burn them down. Fifth assurance, if you give food to those who wail, O Ramchandra, food, I will be pleased. Sixth assurance, I am Sripada Srivallabha. Sri Mahalakshmi will shine with all her glorious attributes in the house of my devotees. Seventh assurance, if you have a pure heart, my grace will always be on you. Eighth assurance, I am agreeable even when you adore any form of deity or take the support of any Sadguru. Ninth assurance, all your prayers will reach me. My grace will be transmitted to you through the form of the deity you worship and through your Sadguru. 10th assurance, Sripad Srivallabh is not merely confined to this name and form. You can know my cosmic form, which encompasses all forms of deities and all forces, as my integral parts only through strict observance of the spiritual discipline. 11th assurance, mine is a comprehensive yogic incarnation. Great yogis and great siddhas constantly meditates upon me. 12th assurance, if you take me as the support, I will preach you the path of dharma and also the path of karma. I will always protect you from the downfall. Digambara, Digambara, Sripada Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Sai Nathaya Namaha.